All right. Okay. So, what I want you to understand, okay, grateful, Vic. Thank you. Vic says he's grateful being a part of this journey with Balwinder and Gurneet. Appreciate you, Vic. Jatinder, welcome. We just
Okay,
asked.
sorry, I had a physio appointment, just got late.
No
That's
problem.
okay.
No problem. We just finished asking everyone one thing they're grateful for, if you would like to share.
We start the call.
Um, what I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gr- Now I feel I'm grateful for the wisdom that I have
Okay.
to make the right choice.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. And remember, it's just a choice, and we'll make many.
Yes.
Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but we don't want to label them. They're just a choice, and another one will appear. So
Mhm.
amazing. Nimmer, thanks. Being able to receive education, man, that is something amazing to be grateful for. We're so fortunate on this call, all of us, that we get educated in more ways than one. And not just education within the schooling system, but education outside of that as well. So part of one of the things I get to talk about and share with you today. So today I'm sharing with you, Gurneet and I are sharing with you the 9 habits, the 9 very simple habits that lead to massive success. And we're not just talking regular success. We're not just talking having some small achievement. These 9 little habits are what will amount to great amounts of success in your life.
And like success means different for different people. Success doesn't mean here like a career success, or like, it can be something like you are happy in your life. That can be success to you. Like when you call your life successful, that means you are happy from your, you love what you're doing. However simple that could be.
Yeah, it's very true. One of the things I love the most, and I get reminded of when I go into schools and talk to kids, I ask all the kids to write on a piece of paper what success means to them. And very few have the same answer. For some people it's good marks, for some people it's having a nice car, for some people it's having a house, kids, all sorts of different things. So success means something different to everyone. And one of the things that you may remember from the first videos you watched of myself is that if a number 10 represents success, there's an infinite number of ways to add up to 10. It's not the same, 5 plus 5 for everyone. For some people it's 8 plus 2. For some people it's 1 plus 3 plus 6. Your way of getting to 10 or success is going to be unique to you. And these habits we're going to share with you are the things that are going to get you to that number 10 life or that success life. Okay. And they're very simple things. And one of the things I want to reiterate is the 80-20 rule. And I talk about this a lot because people think that they need to focus on the 80%. They need to focus on the big things in life.
It's always small things.
It's not. You are the 80%. You cannot change you. What you can do is change the 20%. Okay. And that's what we're going to focus on is the 20% in life that you can actually change and you can adjust and focus on. And, if I ask any of you who've been working with us for months, even longer, either Vic or Rajiv or Jatinder, anything that Gurneet or I have ever given you, any tools or what we've taught you, has any of it been difficult or hard?
No.
No,
No.
right? Simple things. It's just implementing them in very consistent and easy ways. Okay, so we're never going to give you anything that's hard to do or out of reach. It's going to be simple and easy. Okay, so let's get started. You know, Nimmer is and thanks for joining us, Nimmer. I'm glad your dad was able to get you to join us. So, Nimmer, I love what you said with your gratitude as being able to receive education. because the first habit of becoming massively successful is embracing continuous learning. Now, continuous learning is done in so many ways and so many forms. You just heard Gurneet say that she came back from a 10-day course. We're always looking to learn more and gain more because that's what life is all about. We both believe that the day you stop learning and growing is the day you become stagnant. And stagnation leads to decay and disease.
Stagnation is totally pretty much opposite of a rule of nature, of universe. Everything in this universe, in this reality, is changing continuously. So that's how we have to grow with it too. We have to walk with it too. If we're gonna stop, then again, we're gonna become stagnant.
Right. Many reason why statistically so many people, when they're retire at an older age, they don't live a very long life. And it's because they stop learning. It's because they stop doing the things, they become stagnant. And then stagnation leads to decay and disease. Okay. All right. Continuous learning doesn't have to be difficult. There's so many ways to do it. It could be a podcast you listen to. It could be a YouTube channel you follow. It could be books you read. It could be weekend courses. In fact, Gurneet and I are members of Mind Valley. $199 a year, you have access to an unlimited amount of courses. They're always adding more. Super simple, super easy to join, and there's so much available to you. And we've done courses where we've spent 20 minutes a day,
Yeah. And
doing that.
different categories, whatever your interests are.
Exactly. So it's not difficult. You don't need to make it difficult. You just make it a
There's
habit.
so much material
And-
on YouTube too these days.
Yeah. Learning in today's world is a lot different than it was 20 years ago. It is so much easy to get the information and have access to information, and free, right? So it's incredible to use. And one of my things is I listen to audiobooks, and when I'm at the gym working out, I'm listening to my audiobook. So it's part of my routine. It's super simple, super easy to do. Okay. So that's number one.
So
Gurneet?
number two is I'm gonna talk about health and wellness because that's what I work on. So health and what does health and wellness mean? It is a combination of everything, not just your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and they all go together. You cannot just keep working on one thing and expect the other thing to be going okay. So it always have to be balanced. And again, it doesn't have to be difficult or crazy amount of exercising or dieting and stuff like that. Just simple habits like properly making sure that you're sleeping right amount of hours, making sure just being a little bit aware and conscious of what you're eating, like getting into habit of checking ingredients and being aware that what when I eat this or eat that, what affects my body, how it makes me feel good, it doesn't make me feel good. Or if you don't want to do crazy amounts of exercise, just setting out a regular time that what I'm gonna go for a 10 or 15-minute walk or do some stretching at home. So that can be a physical part. And then for mental and emotional health, and again, we can do some mindful techniques, like do things which makes us happy, makes our heart happy. And again, these two goes together. If your physical health is not good, no matter how much work you keep doing on your mental, your subconscious, it's like if you're not feeling good, you're not feeling healthy, that's not going to help with the other side too. And same way, vice versa. If your mental health, emotional isn't good, you cannot work. So everything has to be balanced. So make sure that if you're working towards a goal or a success, whatever success means to you, that doesn't mean you have to burn out yourself, wake up late hours. Make sure, give priority to your so to this body where your soul resides, because it's again inside out balance. So not skipping meals, eating meals properly, eating, being aware of what you're eating, and sleeping properly. So just and if there is not at all exercise in your routine, adding something little, starting from something little, like that can be, again, as I said, just a walk or a stretch. Or again, YouTube has so much, or the internet has so much, things these days, that you can just even search a 5-minute yoga routine or exercise or stretching, whatever interests you, whatever feels easy to you to start off with, right? So yeah, just health and wellness is very important, because physical, mental, and emotional all goes together.
And I just want to touch a couple of
Mhm.
things. Balance, Gurneet mentioned. Balance is super important. Our mind, body, and soul, the health of all of them is equally important. I've seen people who are extremely fit, but mentally
Yeah.
they're unstable. Or I've seen people who are mentally super happy, but then physically
Yeah.
they're not in good shape, right? I've seen people who are very spiritual or have a beautiful soul, yet physically and mentally they're not where they should be. So when it comes to health and wellness, you want to factor in all three. And again, as Gurneet said, it doesn't need to be difficult. In fact, I'll share with you, I spend a maximum of 30 minutes in the gym, maximum. Usually I'm about 20 minutes. I do 2 sets. I have a set routine, and I take like a 2 to 3 minute break in between sets. And I'm in the best shape of my life right now at the age of 43 with 20 minutes a day in the gym, 5 days a week. So it doesn't need to be difficult.
And
Okay.
for me, going to gym doesn't work. So I make sure that I like go for a walk after, in the morning. And if I miss in the morning, in the evening, I do stretches whenever I feel like. And yeah, and then in here and there in between, adding in a little bit of yoga if I feel like my body's becoming very stiff, I haven't moved around. Just simple yoga, not like crazy yoga and stretches and stuff. And yeah, and just watching what I'm eating, and if I'm like, really hungry, and controlling myself, like, no, I need to eat less. No, that's not a very healthy habits, to do a crazy diet for a few days and then, like, start eating like crazy. Just keeping it balanced and consistent. And yeah, that's about it. Whatever works for you, and slowly adding to it. One thing I learned in this course, I went to Vipassana meditation course, is like, like how every religion says, know thyself. So for that, even to find God or find anything in balance or whatever you want to call it, you don't have to go out of your body or separate from it. You first have to get in. And because that's what they say, God resides, because you have to know yourself. So you have to first get inside the body. And again, if physically you're not feeling good, then uh, the emotional or spiritual development won't come as well. So it all has to be very balanced, and with just simple habits.
All right. Moving on. And if anyone has any questions about anything that we're discussing, feel free to just type them in the chat, and we'll get to those, right? Or you raise your hand, whatever. All right. Number 3 is embracing failure. Okay. I'll use a sports analogy. Pro sports athletes, one of the things that they do is embrace failure. Because if they haven't failed, it means they haven't attempted. The number of times Michael Jordan was given the game-winning shot and missed is pretty high. But what if he said, "I don't know, I'm not taking the shot"? Well, what are his chances? 0. You see, embracing failure means actually taking a risk. And it doesn't have to be a big risk. It's putting yourself out there. It's making an attempt. Failure comes in so many different forms, but here's the best thing about failure. We've experienced it all our lives in so many different ways. And guess what? We're still here. We're perfectly fine. We're alive. And are we going to continue to fail? Absolutely. The more successful you are means the more you have failed in life. Just means you've tried more. You've put yourself out there more. And ask yourself the question, what's the worst thing that could happen? You know, maybe it's a question you want to ask someone, or maybe it's an activity you want to try. What's the worst thing that could happen, right? Now, I want to share with you something. This is, a fun fact, but Colonel Sanders, the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, he had faced 1,000 rejections before he found success. Now, Kentucky Fried Chicken's a worldwide name. It's all over the place. We see them everywhere. They're all over Thailand. Okay. And I know they're all over North America as well. So Colonel Sanders, the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, had his amazing recipe with all of his secret spices, and he took it to 1,000 different places, and he was rejected everywhere. He was 65 years old when somebody agreed to try his recipe. 65 years of age and 1,000 different failures. And guess what? Now, Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, is a household name around the world. Okay. Imagine if he quit at the 995th time. Keep going. When it's something you truly believe in and you're passionate about, I will tell you, it will come, it will happen. Just keep trying and keep pushing yourself through. So embrace failure, embrace the times, the challenges, and the times where you fall. Just pick yourself up and keep going. Okay. Not hard to do.
And the next point goes very much hand in hand with what just Balwinder said and discussed. It's next is cultivating patience. So again, patience, I know sometimes is hard to practice, but we have to understand and accept the fact that success doesn't come overnight, right? Even if we have started working on ourselves now, small steps, you have to keep trusting the process that these small steps will take effect slowly. It won't be like an overnight thing that, oh, okay, I started doing this and overnight I have the results. Because just imagine if we have started working right now, like how much things we have accumulated in the past, and now that's going to take time moving forward. So trusting the process or having patience doesn't mean that you sit idly and wait for success to come. That means you get to stay consistent. You keep working on that 20% regular habit, consistently showing up, even on the harder days, if you're not able to do all the things, but you still showed up, and that's okay. And continuously working towards your goal, even if the progress seems slow or non-existent, but again, showing up and not letting go of your non-negotiables every day, the small things which you like doing and which you enjoy doing. And then reminding yourself that, and again, sometimes we start comparing with people, oh, those people, that person is so young and they got so much success. Everybody's success looks different, and everybody's journey of success is different too, as Balwinder just discussed that KFC story. So it will come in a different way. Or everybody speaks Punjabi here, right? So jab jago tab savera, the saying, right? So you don't have to look at it or get anxious by looking at others. You just keep following your journey, your small 20% steps, and being consistent. And then, because that time, that patience also helps you to stay focused and stay committed and focused on your journey. And if some days they are slow and you're feeling low, then you can just sit and think about it, where I have come, what's working, what's not. And yeah, just having patience that every day, a small step I'm doing, it's adding up to it. It's adding up to it.
So, I just want to tell you that it's the small steps, it's the little things. You think of the example of the penny being doubled every day. If you took a penny and doubled it every day, on day one, you've got a penny. On day two, you have 2 cents. On day three, you have 4 cents. On day four, you have 8 cents, and so on. But by day 30, you have over $10 million. Imagine at day 4, you said, man, I've only gotten to 8 cents. Forget it. This isn't working. Just be persistent and have that patience of knowing that this will come. Going back to the athletes spend a good majority of their life training hours upon hours upon hours. And if you look at the percentage of their life they've committed to that sport, when they hit their peak, which for most professional athletes is in their teenage years, their late teenage years, they've spent high percentage of their life working towards that. And I just think of our daughter. She was a competitive gymnast. She was 9 years old, spending 17 hours a week training for gymnastics. So if you think between the age of 4.5 and 9, the amount of hours she had spent training for gymnastics, she's going to be significantly better than everyone else out there who doesn't train for gymnastics because the sheer amount of time she's put in. So just know that as you continue to put more time in, it will come. Okay. It might seem like it's really far away. Keep being persistent. Keep having that patience.
I always say to my clients too that sometimes you don't see it right away. That, because this is something, the development, self-development, it's something like you don't sometimes see tangibly in front of. But if you will look back 6 months and 1 year, then sometimes if you sit and reflect, you will realize that how far I have come so far, because sometimes these things are not tangible, but when you see where I was, what my mindset was, and where I am now, maybe I don't have a tangible success in my hand to show, explain people, but I know how much I have come forward. So it adds up. Sometimes we don't realize at that moment, but when we look back, when the 6 months or 1 year has passed, then you realize that, yeah, this is working and I have to be consistent.
So, all right, next, number 5, practicing gratitude. Now, we talk about all the time, and we did just as we started this call. Here's what's amazing about gratitude is that it is so simple to do. For example, everyone just listed something they were grateful for or shared with us what they were grateful for. How much effort did that take? Almost none whatsoever. It was not hard at all. However, stating that or expressing that gratitude just lifted your vibration and took you into a positive state of mind like this. So get in the habit of, and the best times to do this is in the morning when you first wake up and at the end of the day before you go to bed. Start with 3 to 5 things every morning that you're grateful for. And it could be, you guys know, the ones that work with me, that one of the things I say every day is I'm grateful for everything always working out perfectly. That's the intention I have set, that no matter what happens, it's working out in my best interest. But, sometimes it's as simple as I'm grateful for the amazing fruit that I got to eat yesterday. I'm grateful for hearing the birds chirping. I can hear them in the background now. You probably can't, but you know, it's these little things that you can be grateful for. Or there's big things you can be grateful for as well, like Nimmer said, being able to receive an education. That's huge, right? Gratitude does two things. One, it raises your vibration and your frequency, but two is it shifts from what's wrong in your life to what's going well,
Right.
to the things that are working. And that's what you want to focus on. What you focus on is what you create. So the more of the good you focus on, the more you focus on the wonderful things in your life, you're going to attract those wonderful things.
And then slowly it becomes habit of the mind, because we humans have this habit of negative bias that always, always we focus, like dhyan sab to pehle janda hai ki, oh, what's going, oh, ek galat ho gaya. But more and more gratitude we do, our mind become habitual of noticing good things, little good things, ignoring the bad things. So it becomes a habit.
One of the things I learned recently from Vishen Lakani from Mind Valley was at the end of every day, write down this statement: the magic I witnessed today was. And so every day I write down the magic I witnessed today. And it's just the little things that happen in my day that made my day wonderful, that made it, give it that extra spark. And the first day you do this, you might be like, I can't think of anything. What is it? Well, as you continue to do this, you're going to train your mind to find the little magic in your day all the time. And you'll start thinking about stuff and be like, oh, I'm going to write this down tonight. This is the magic I experienced today. And now guess what? You're looking for the good in your life. You're looking for the fun things. You're looking for the excitement, the love, the happiness, the joy, those little sparks that fly in your life. And the more you look for them, guess what? The more they show up.
And the
It's that
hard
simple.
things become a little bit easier to, go past by and to endure.
All right, moving on.
The next is valuing relationships. So if we are working on goals, or even if we are working on ourselves, I know sometimes working or self-development is like a lonely journey, but it doesn't have to be. That doesn't mean you forget your relationships. They're always people who might not understand you, but they love you unconditionally, right? And some people you connect with your heart. So it's always important that in this journey, while you're working on yourself, while you're doing your 80/20, you still stay connected with the relationships that matter. They could be friends, they could be family, and because you have to understand these relationships, uh, like humans are social beings, right? They always need connection. So when you get successful, you don't have to be lonely on the top, right? So they're always it's like how they say, when you share the sorrow, it becomes less, and when you share the joys, it become more. So with these relationships, with these personal connections, again, sorrows become easier to go through with, and the joys become even more multiplied. So be intentional to take out some time for loved ones, or just like a simple message, sending simple message. If you're thinking about somebody, or sending them a simple message, or taking out time for that, a coffee date with your friend which you have been thinking from a long time, taking special intentional steps to make that happen, because again, it makes your soul happy. The connections are very personal. Connections are very important for humans. So while you're working on yourself, you don't have to be lonely, because these relationships will always provide you support, advice, and encouragement during the challenging time. And they might even hold it. And if there are few people you can share what you're working on or your goals. They can even hold you responsible for, when the days you're feeling weak or not up to, performing your non-negotiable, they can hold you responsible too. So yeah, relationships, connections are important. You don't just let go of everything.
And to do that, one of the things Gurneet just said is, let's say it's a friend who you want to go for coffee with. Let's say you still don't have the time. Sending that friend a short message saying, hey, I'm really thinking about you. I'm looking forward to when we get to go to coffee next.
Or just a little grateful message, was thinking about you.
And just putting that out there,
missing. Yeah.
you
You don't
and
have
that's
to hold
it.
yourself back to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's that simple.
It's these little things that start to add up and bring your vibration higher, create a better mood for you. If I ask all of you, before I move on to the next step, what's a habit that you have right now?
A habit related to
Anything. Could be anything. So here's a habit that I have every morning when I wake up. One of the first things I do is I drink water. Okay. Can anyone share something, a habit that you have? Maybe it's, I do this after this activity all the time.
There's always a specific place where I sit for eating meals. When
Okay.
I'm home. I
So
always sit the same
there you
place.
go. A very simple habit, right? Jatinder, is there anything that you can think of that's a habit for you?
I think now, like, when I drop my son to school, it's about half an hour drive. I usually have Parton, so now it's in the morning, and that has become a habit.
Okay. Amazing. Gurneet, habit? What's something that,
I eat fruit every day, try to eat fruit every day before our breakfast. And that, apart from many other things, as I drink water too when I wake up. So,
But
yeah.
so my question is, you guys all just shared a habit. Those habits, are any of them difficult?
Mm.
No,
No.
very easy to do. You've just incorporated them into your life. Now, everyone probably is in the habit of brushing their teeth every day, maybe twice a day, right? Is brushing your teeth every day or twice a day difficult?
No.
But we're in the habit of doing that. Now, maybe the first time you brushed your teeth, it would have been like, did I get this tooth? Am I doing this right? You were a child, your parents taught you, or the dentist taught you. But now that you've been doing it regularly, it's not difficult. So with these habits, once they become a routine and they become part of your everyday life, they're not difficult. They're very easy. So moving on. Number 7 is setting clear goals or setting clear intentions. I want you to remember this. Being clear is being kind. Okay. And this goes for yourself or to others. When you are clear on something, whether it's instructions or whether it's what you want, you're being kind. When we set goals or intentions, you want to get in the habit of setting goals and intentions. What's my goal or what's my intention for today? Okay. And then be clear about it and be very specific with it. So let's just say my goal for today with this call is to effectively give you the 9 steps that will allow you to have massive success in under an hour. And how am I doing for time? We've got just under 15 minutes to go. So that was my clear goal. Now, if I said to you guys, I'm just going to share 9 steps that will give you success, I've left out some clarity. I haven't included that I want to do this in under an hour. So I want to have the opportunity for you to ask questions. I haven't been specific. What if I just said I'm going to share 9 things with you? Well, what do these 9 things do? What are they about? Right? So being clear and specific, get in the habit of being clear and specific for yourself. You're being kind to yourself when you're clear and specific. Okay? And it's not hard to do. It's just a little bit of thought, a little bit of intention that, okay, you know what? I'm going to be clear. What if every day you were clear with what you wanted to achieve in that day? How much easier does your day flow? Or, Nimar, I'll ask you, imagine a teacher is giving you an assignment and they haven't given you clear instructions. How much overwhelm or stress do you feel about that assignment because they haven't given you clear instructions? It's huge. Yeah, go ahead. You unmuted. Feel free to share.
Yes, I feel like it's a little bit overwhelming to kind of understand what your next steps are going to be in order to carry out those instructions.
Exactly. So if we're not giving ourselves instruction or being clear or kind to ourselves, guess what? What's going to happen? We're going to feel overwhelmed. We're going to feel stressed because we don't know what our next steps should be. So being clear is being kind. When you're setting intentions or goals, which you want to be in the habit of doing, be very clear about them.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
so and again, it doesn't have to be like crazy goals and a whole scheduled timetable of the day. They can be like 2, 3 main big things you want to achieve that day. That today during this time I'm gonna try to I'm gonna do this. So at least when you are done doing one thing and you're like idling, because sometimes when we just sit and have nothing to do, and then we get into sometimes downward spiral. So like at least then you have a clarity for the day today that I'm gonna now finish this. It's been lingering in my list for so long. So yeah, it doesn't have to be crazy timetable schedule, but at least for a day, if you have a focus, and it can be as simple as today I'm gonna, set a goal for being like intentionally being happy, or choose like focus on gratitudes and anything simple. So just in the morning, if you set a course for the day, being more aware of the day rather than being confused, as he said, like setting goals when you are clear, it's being kind.
And there's going to be many times throughout your day or your life where you feel unmotivated and you feel lost and you go down that downward spiral, like Gurneet mentioned. The easiest way to shift is be clear with how you want to move forward in simple ways. Again, let's just say it's physical activity. I'm going to go for a walk today versus today after dinner, I'm going to go for a walk for 15 minutes in this place. Because you were more clear about it, how much easier does it become to do?
That you will do it.
Right? And when you have those goals or those intentions and you've been clear, you get distracted less. You stop doing other things. You're focusing your energy on other places. Okay? So just be clear, be kind, and know that if someone were to give you those instructions, how much it would frustrate you. Well, what are you doing to yourself if you're not giving yourself clear instructions? Okay. Moving on.
Taking time for self-reflection. And again, all these points are a little bit connected to each other, kind of the same idea, but again, being more, specific and aware of everything. The self-reflection, again, when you're giving time and setting clear goals to yourself, or doing everything you're doing intentionally and in that time, in that whole time, keep time for self-reflection too. Because sitting with yourself, if like connecting with the relationship is important, connecting with yourself too. So again, whatever works for you, whatever your daily routine habits are, it could be journaling, it could be meditating a little bit, or simply taking a quiet walk. And during these self-reflecting times is when we like, stop our mind from activity and go and thought. That's when our, inner self or your intuition becomes a little bit more empowered. And during that time, you can evaluate the actions you've been taking, or decisions and overall life direction you are going. What's going wrong? What's not going wrong? Okay, I did this, that didn't work, and accepting that. And then maybe next time I'll try this. So like self-contemplation and self-reflection, it's very important, but that will only happen if we will give ourselves time. Sometimes we don't sit and like stop our brain from working. And that's what I always say meditation is. It doesn't have to be crazy to 1 hour, 20-minute sitting and meditating. It can be just giving yourself 5-10 minutes and stopping all the thoughts and like just being in the moment. Observe, be aware what's going on right now in the moment. And giving that time is very important uh, for our sanity, for the sanity of mind, because mind needs break too. And again, I always say it's all about, at the end of the day, all these things, it's all about letting your mind run your day or your life, then you taking control of it and taking these little steps, little small actions to control your mind and telling it like, no, I will run you. No, you are not going to run me. So yeah, self-reflection is very important. Just reflecting on how your day is going, what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, and what my body and what my soul is needing right now. And if it's not feeling like anything, that's okay. Just sit and reflect for 5 minutes.
And one of the things Gurneet mentioned earlier was you don't realize where you were and where you've come. And one of the biggest ways to realize this is self-reflection. And Nimmer, I'm going to ask you a question. If you think of where you were at the beginning of this school year and where you are now, how much more knowledge, how much more information, how much more skill do you have?
I think I can kind of even refer back to, so I'm graduating next month from university. So I can even refer back to my first year and now graduating. I've learned so much and I've gained so much knowledge from not just classes, but also from my peers and different social relationships where I kind of have learned how to navigate different scenarios.
Amazing. And here's the thing is, a lot of that gets brushed under the carpet or not recognized if we don't sit down to reflect and actually sit and say, this is where I was, this is where I've gotten to. And you get to celebrate that. You get to celebrate yourself. Cheer for yourself like you would cheer for your favorite sports team. Cheer for yourself like you would cheer for your children or a sibling or someone who you look up to. And when you self-reflect, cheer for yourself. Okay, very, very important. All right, lastly, this is very simple. It's almost not even a step, but number 9 is being persistent. If you take all of those little steps that we just gave you and be persistent with them and incorporate them into your day and do it day in, day out, every day, all the time, it adds up. And I believe some of you guys have read The Slight Edge, and you remember it's not about the big things. It's about the little things and just doing them over and over and over again over time.
Eventually you become that person.
Exactly.
Then you tell me that's how I do. You know, like how sometimes that's how we do things and that's how we eat. That's how we do. So when you be persistent with these small little habits, it becomes a person you are. And then it comes as a second nature.
Right. Being persistent is very simple thing to do. We do it all the time in so many forms. It's just being aware. How am I being persistent? And you can ask yourself the question, is this persistence moving me forward? Or is it moving me back? And if it's not moving you forward, then shift and do something that's going to move you forward. Think of a thought that's going to move you forward. Okay. So with that, any questions or anything that anybody wants to ask or get more clarity on? And it doesn't have to be just what we
Questions or
talked about.
share, or you want to, you know, just speak or add to it.
For gratitude,
Mhm.
how there's how to make it like genuine, you know, like I can just say, okay, I'm grateful for a house to live in or food to eat. But that's just saying it, you know, like how to make it a genuine gratitude versus just saying something. You know what I mean? Like I feel yeah, I do it, but I just put something without.
So
Uh,
maybe start with doing gratitude for things you're actually grateful for, and they could be very simple things. Like, and it can be again being present in the moment. If you're like sometimes you're outside and you are, let's say, I can think of an example. Let's say you're really hot, you don't have water at that time or cold water at that time, and suddenly you find a mall somewhere or something, and then you just go and buy water and drink it. That's just a simple thing, but then you can be just like, while doing it, it's just again being more aware of the moment that, oh, thank God, I'm so grateful right now that I got this water. Like it's just like the most like common example, you know, like when something quenches your thirst, it's just like you feel so. But again, we always forget to stop and realize that like this is something, you know, magical, that right now I am getting to drink this water. Some people don't even have. So like maybe start with small little things which you actually feel joy in your heart and you feel grateful for. Small little things. And it doesn't have to be house and food, and if you're eating your favorite dish, or like sometimes the food is really good today. Oh, it's really good. So like that's one of your grateful, like this dish I have eaten many times, but today I really enjoyed it. So that's, you know, just those little simple things.
It could be as simple as and food is always a great way to do this. But you know, if you drink cha, it could be as simple as, man, this coffee or this tea or this chai is, I'm so grateful for it. And then if you want to elaborate, go ahead, because it not only tastes good, but it gives me energy. It, you know, makes me feel good. And you don't have to elaborate. You can just be as simple as, I'm grateful for this. And here's what I want you to understand is that even if you say, I'm grateful for my food or I'm grateful for this house, you're not doing anything wrong.
It's still becoming a habit and your mind is still registering it.
And you're still raising your vibrations.
But yeah, like maybe focus on the things you really feel grateful at that particular moment. And
You know, a lot of times,
think back when you're writing them down, think back on the day, like about what happened. It also will give you a habit of going through your day and only trying to focus on you know, positive things. And then as the days go by, it will become easier and easier for you to during the day to, you know, point out those small little things.
And here's what's funny is that sometimes if it feels too easy, we tend to say, oh no,
Yeah,
that
it's
that was
not
too
right.
easy. That's not right.
But
Or
that you have to realize you got there by practicing it over and over again, right? So and again, start with being specific, right? Like maybe in the house, be specific on like some of the spots or you enjoy the most, or what are the things you enjoy the most in this house, that I would love this wherever I go or move to next house. I would really love if there was this. So like try to start with like specific and small things
yeah,
you really appreciate.
right.
Anything else? Anybody else?
Any other questions or comments or uncertainties? Go ahead.
Where do we draw line with like being selfish and self-love? Like,
Mhm. Great
oh,
question. Great question. Selfish is when the other person is being impacted in a negative way.
Or you're intentionally trying to harm somebody. By
Okay.
your self-love, if somebody else is getting hurt or impacted, or so that's
okay.
selfish.
Okay. So
Simple.
I can give you an example.
Mhm.
Let's say for you, self-love is physical activity. Okay. But you're choosing to do it at the time your son needs to be taken to school. And because of that, your son is late to school. Now you're
Mhm.
being selfish because you're harming your son in your physical activity need, right?
Mhm.
But if you're doing your physical activity and you're still able to get your son to school on time, you're not
Mhm.
being selfish.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're the line between self-love and selfishness is
And that's why it's called self-love and not selfishness, because love is a very high vibrating emotion, and you cannot, love, you cannot use it for like in a negative way, because your soul understand this feeling, and you cannot be doing self-love and being selfish to somebody. It very rarely happens, right?
Mhm.
so yeah, the self-love is
The more you give it to yourself, you will be able to give it more to others. Trust me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It multiplies when it's coming from inside.
right.
Mhm.
So you just think of it this way: is what I'm doing harming anyone, or impacting them negatively? And if it's not, then it's
ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ
self-love.
ਕੋਈ ਫਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ, but ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ self love ਨਾਲ ਫਰਕ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ, then yeah, it's self love.
What if you're trying to set boundaries with someone who's impacting you in a negative way? So even though you're protecting yourself, you're kind of harming them in a negative way because they're affected
Um,
by it.
I wouldn't say that you are harming them in a negative way. They're choosing to be harmed in a negative way.
Yeah. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ
Okay.
physically, if they are not being impacted physically or in the daily life they're living, if it's not impacting them or you're not harming them, then that's not.
That you can't control the choice they make,
Mm.
Okay.
right? So for example, let's just say that I choose to go and do something without Gurneet. Okay.
Mhm.
We almost do everything together, which is amazing. I love it. So let's just say I go and choose to do something without her. If she chooses to be upset that I did it without her, I can't control that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do it without her with the intention
Intention.
of making her upset. I didn't say,
So-
oh, I'm going to go do this without Gurneet because I'm mad.
So it's our intention to.
Exactly.
Or unless he's doing something which is like not good for our relationship, to harm our relationship or to harm me, then it's not. So intention again is very important. what intention you are doing it with. If your intentions are just to take care of yourself and to raise your vibration and frequency, and you're not intentionally doing it to harm somebody else, then it's self-love.
It's
not
self-love, yeah.
selfishness.
And you can never control anyone else's thoughts.
Mhm.
You can only control your own.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Mhm.
you know, your intention is not to hurt that person. Your
Mhm.
intention is to look after yourself. If they're perceiving that as hurt, you cannot control that.
Okay. That's their choice.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And you get to choose your boundaries because that's what's important to you.
Boundaries are very important for, again, your, self-development, self-love, and sometimes you have to draw that line. You can still be a loving person and still be the person you are, but drawing boundaries sometimes with some people is very important.
Okay.
It drains your energy, and you don't want that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Perfect. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Nimmer, do you have a question or anything that you want to ask, or feel free?
No, I think all of these steps, I think they're really important, especially because, like I said, I'm graduating in a month, so these would really be applicable to the next steps in my life, because right now I am on that journey of continuously learning. And then also, I do take a priority in my health and wellness. Similar to you, I was also at the gym before this meeting.
Amazing.
And then in terms of embracing failure, I feel as if so I have been rejected from a couple of medical schools. But for me right now, I think I just have to keep a strong mind to tell myself that there is still one time, and also many opportunities to apply again and still continue on, because like you said, Michael Jordan, he has the game-winning shot many times, but it's not like he's going to make it every single time. The probability of that is less likely than him making it, but you just have to keep trying. You can't give up.
Exactly.
And consistently showing up for yourself, I think is really important, because I can kind of relate it back to the gym, even if it's just 20 minutes, even if it's just a 20-minute walk. I think if you show up for yourself, at least you are working on yourself mindfully and also physically. And also maybe cooking for yourself, to just reading up on healthier recipes to certain foods and meals that you may like. And then practicing gratitude is a really big one, because I'm really grateful for the position that I am in right now, where I'm able to apply again to medical school, because I know that it's costly, and two, many individuals aren't in the same place. They may be even smarter than I am, but they don't have the same resources that I have. And also, like you said, maybe even certain coffees that you like to enjoy on a daily basis. Today, I was able to order some of my favorite coffee pods that had finished up. So I was really happy about that, where I have my coffee pods coming in. And then valuing relationships with my dad. I wasn't sure what this meeting was about. He kind of just sent me the link and he said, hey, join this. So I thought, okay, I thought he would be here too, but he just said, send me the notes. So
All right.
Yeah,
good.
I asked him, your dad speaks very, very highly of you, and you know, he always, when we're on calls together, he always refers to you. He's like, oh, I want to share this with my daughter. And so I said, you know what, why don't you invite her to the call today? And I thought he would be here as well. He
Yeah.
probably got caught up in work. I'll have to give him a hard time later about that. But thanks for coming and joining us. And Rajiv, there you go. What Nimmer just said about gratitude, right? She was able to find gratitude in even failure. You know, the fact that she was rejected from schools, she still was able to feel grateful that I still have the resources to apply to other schools. I still have the ability to do this. So gratitude can be found anywhere and everywhere. So thanks so much, Nimmer, for sharing. I appreciate that. With that, we'll wrap it up. We'll be back next month. If there's something that you guys would like us to touch on, discuss, you know how to get in touch with us. Send a message. We're more than happy to customize our group session around
Yeah, topics
what
you want to listen on and more, discuss more. That.
all right. Take care, everyone.
You.
Thank you
You're
so
very welcome.
much.
You.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Good
Good
day.
night.
Thank you.